I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. Nelson Mandela. Since we are what we believe, we could view fear as forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. It's all about perspective. Fear helps us shine a light on self-doubt and apprehension so we could mindfully explore why it's a barrier. Throughout grade school, I was painfully shy and didn't participate in plays due to fear of public speaking. There were times when I couldn't even utter any words. My face would be flushed every time I wanted to raise my hand in class, while anxiously rehearsing the answer in my head over and over again. It was tormenting. This fear stemmed from a strict upbringing and my sister snapping at me for talking too much, which caused me to retreat into my shell. I later emerged from that shell as a teenager when my good friend introduced me to raves, where I was in my element with music and dance. Acting and modeling were other ways to express myself unreservedly, so creative practices are very effective in overcoming shyness. I conquered the fear through countless work presentations, panel discussions, and a Vietnamese diaspora talk show as a co-host. That was all preparation for sharing my story at this time. As a gauge, the Myers-Briggs personality test showed I was introverted as a teen, then extroverted 10 years later. At 43 now, the assessment showed 90% assertive, which is an indication that all the self-growth work is helping me become my true and abashed self, unafraid to be creative. It also demonstrates that we could transform ourselves if we want to. Regarding health, I was told multiple times that precancerous cells were detected, but instead of being fearful, I chose to live more fully. Thinking I might not be able to have a second child, I had 2 more kids. And realizing that life is fleeting, I decided not to waste it on suffering, and as a result, I'm breaking cycles of generational trauma. We're here to learn and expand without letting fear stop us. It's an illusion and another reason to manage the mind by evaluating whether the fear is triggered by potential harm or because of an unhealed wound. Our fight, flight, freeze, or fawn response is activated when there's perceived danger, which might not even be the appropriate reaction because it's automatic. Living in fear becomes anxiety and stress that causes inflammation in the body. It also becomes our number one saboteur and prevents us from challenging ourselves, seeking truth, and experiencing quality of life. We could only evolve by getting out of our comfort zone and continuously adapt based on what works or doesn't work. Fear reroutes energy to the amygdala, which may affect our speech and effective decision-making. By applying intuition and logic, we can move up the emotion frequency scale to courage, enabling us to stretch beyond perceived limits, develop new capabilities, and take calculated risks. So how could we approach circumstances with strength rather than fear? First and foremost, we could embrace our real self without fear of judgment or failure. When we're confident in who we are, we exude that self-love toward others and show vulnerability, which is the bridge to connection. And because we're radiating love, we could reach the state of joy and peace where nothing can faze us because we know that our outer world reflects our inner self. We can flip the script at any time by facing situations with confidence and resilience. And real courage is learning from experiences, but not allowing them to influence our core values, taint our worldview, or close our heart. To help examine fear that's blocking our progress, let's state the pending decision. Identify the fears so we can face them. List the key actions and weigh the risks of changing versus keeping the status quo. Determine how the risks can be mitigated. Visualize the process steps, then assess how that makes you feel. Follow your intuition, which can be activated through stillness in nature, meditation, or prayer. Lean on your internal guidance to lead you toward the optimal direction. Going down a less desirable path is usually from ignoring that inner voice and listening to external programming. Alternatively, try journaling to convert anxiety into aspirations, conflict into compassion, fear into flow. Knowing what we want and why is key, though detaching from how it unfolds is essential because we may come across a better route. To quote Lao Tzu, "Life is a series of natural and spontaneous changes. Don't resist them. That only creates sorrow." Let reality be reality. Let things flow naturally forward in whatever way they like. Fear of failure is resistance to the natural flow and not having faith in ourselves. But experimenting is an attempt, an opportunity to grow so the next decision is more informed. There's really no wrong turn in life. I invite you to explore what works for you and check out the wellness application tools at elevatingelements.com. Thank you for watching, liking, sharing, subscribing, and until next time, be well.